Roll call, please.
Catherine Hansen. Joyce Huey.
Here.
Barbara Price.
Here.
Davis Talmadge.
Here.
Thank you. Need a presentation and approval of the minutes of our last meeting on August the 13th. Y'all had a chance to review those? And do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, are there any additional requests for funding? All righty, thank you. Okay, Meredith, recitation.
At this time, the recitation for the record, the name of the taxing authority is the North Lake County Hospital District. The rollback rate is .895 mils. The levy of 1.0 mils represents an increase in the property tax levy of 11.73% over the rollback rate of .895 mils.
Do we need any action on that?
No.
Thank you. Okay, could we get a waiving of the reading of the entire proposed resolution?
I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the resolution.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Resolution 2020-01, the resolution of the North Lake County Hospital District providing for the adoption of the millage rate for the 2021 fiscal year.
Ms. Pat? I need to.
Okay. Remember in August, I told you we always advertise 1 mil because we don't have workshops all summer coming up with this. So you have a worksheet that will show you what the current year budget, the actual through September, and that 2,300,000 is an approximate amount of checks that will be written September 24th, because we still have the June quarter to pay to the hospitals and the clinics. All right, the first column is the 1 mil. The next column is the .95 mils, which we had this year. The third column is your rolled back rate of .895, and that means if you do the rollback rate, there's no tax increase. And what you will see if you follow down the rollback .895 is that there is sufficient funds to pay all the requests that have been submitted, and we would have $438,134 kind of a pool in case people go back to the doctors and the hospitals next year and we need to do, more submissions. So the .895, if you approve that as your tentative millage, will do, it'll pay all your administrative cost. It will pay the funding request and have a little bit left in case there are more submissions at the end of the year without doing a budget amendment. And it results in no, if you can see up at the top, those numbers, the 11.73, 6.4, and 0, those are the percentage over the rollback rate. So that, any questions on how those numbers are evolving, or go ahead.
Any questions?
I do have a question. This is my second year doing the budget, and I've noticed over the years that we generally keep about $50,000 in our account. So with that said, I think we should roll back a little more to 8.87 to meet and not have that extra money just laying around.
Okay, the reason we keep the 50,000
Right.
is we won't get any more funding till January,
right?
but we'll have bills to pay in that process. So we can't spend it down to
Zero, I get that.
zero, yeah.
But if we keep the 50,000 in there, it's been sufficient over the years, so I would like to see us follow what we've done in the past and keep the $50,000 in there and lower the millage a little further.
Okay. I want you to consider too, though, that down the line, if the funding request went up, are you prepared to do a larger tax increase? So, discuss the options, and then if you decide you want it even lower, we can advertise that, and then I'll redo a budget to see where it falls,
So
would work.
when you say an increase, someone may ask for an increase, what they've requested for this next year is already in stone, correct?
For the moment, yeah.
Have we ever increased over what we set our budget at?
Yes, every year, except this year. Or we've moved it around so that if this clinic didn't need all theirs, we reallocated it to another. Or, because it's a budget. So if everybody pays their taxes in November, you're going to get less revenue than if some people pay November, December, January, February. So we don't know till the end of September what that really falls into. So this year, we don't have to do a budget amendment because no one had submissions over their budget. But since 1991, I think we've done a budget amendment every year to
reallocate the
to reallocate and also fund more than we originally budgeted, because the submissions were there, and the taxes came in. So it all, this year, who knows? I mean, if people aren't going to pay their property taxes, we'll get a bigger check in May when they do the tax sale. So it is a budget,
Okay,
okay?
that was my question.
Yep.
Anybody else have questions?
I don't have a question, but, you want us to share our opinion now on each one? I've been on here long enough. I know that last year is not the normal for what everybody went through, and I know that the numbers aren't as high as normal. But I also know that there's a lot of other people hurting too, so I'm in favor of the rollback rate. I do know that what concerns me, which I won't be here next year, but is that we return to the submissions we were at before. But I guess that'll be up to the next board, but just in this year with everything going on, that's kind of where I'm at.
And I agree.
You too. I agree, because I think next year is going to be the unknown for sure, not knowing what taxes, if anybody can even pay their taxes and what mess we're going to be in. And medical costs are not going to go down regardless.
But this funds everybody's request, including the clinics, so
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
I think we're lucky to be able to do the rollback. As far as not going up on taxes, I'm good with that too.
It's unusual circumstances that we're in.
Exactly. Do we need to get a motion first? Public, and then, okay. Is there any public comment on this action that we're fixing to do? We're good?
Sorry, hang on.
Okay. Can I get a motion? Okay.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the rollback rate. Do you need me to say that, 0.895?
I second the motion.
Is that sufficient? .895.
And now we take it by roll call. Ms. Hanson?
Aye.
Ms. Huey?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Talmadge?
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me, Madam Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
I did not read off the instructions for the attendees who might wish to make a public comment. Let me go ahead and read that now, if that's okay, and then we'll make sure that nobody had wanted a comment during that period. All right. So for the record, this is Shelley Coates with the Lake County IT Department. The instructions for public comment are on the screen. If you are online, you can press the raise hand button within the Zoom interface. For anyone on the phone, you can press the *9 to raise your hand. I will give you guys a few seconds to go ahead and raise your hand if you wish. Again, that's *9 if you're on the phone, or raise the hand button on the Zoom interface. As of now, we have no raised hands.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Meredith, you, the next.
The next resolution is 2020-02, resolution of the North Lake County Hospital District providing for the adoption of the proposed budget for the 2020-21 fiscal year.
You bet.
Okay, so there again, if you're going to, with that .895 rollback rate, you see the expenses. We adopt our budget at the fund level, which means we're adopting a budget of $11,872,812. The breakdown is just for your information to show you where it goes. So, and the reason we do that is you don't have to do a budget amendment if something goes $1 over a particular line. We only have to do a budget amendment if we're going to spend more than the $11,872,000. So those are, and of course the budget has to balance. That's why that 438 contingency is in there, is to make it balance. And where this comes from is, you see up the top, the 13 billion, I guess, at the taxable value times the millage rate times 96%, and that gives the like 4% in there that if people took the discounts or don't pay. And then what I did with the interest is just kind of take what happened this year and best guess. I mean, usually I'm wrong on that one because I don't ever know what the Fed is going to do with interest rates. And then the other is, as you can see, between last year's budget, the tax collector fees are always 2% of collection. The property appraiser actually sends a budget over. And then the other things just fall out kind of based on prior years. So what you be doing is approving a budget of $11,872,812.
Any discussion?
And I'm sorry. That extra money, that will be interest-bearing also? Okay.
Yeah, what happens is I try to keep about $10,000 in the checking account. Everything else is over in the money market, making what little it can. And then we just email the bank telling them we're going to have this amount of checks clearing, and for them to, and let me just tell you this banking situation, because government funds don't make any money for the banks. We've talked to other banks over the years. They don't want this account because it doesn't sit there long enough for them to make even a car loan out of, you know. It rolls. And First National has really been good to us, not charging fees. And so I work with them at the end of a call report quarter to try not to hit them, because government funds in a commercial bank have to be under Florida Security Deposit Acts, guaranteed. So if I move $5 million into First National Bank September 29th, they've got to send $2,500,000 of investments up to Tallahassee to secure it overnight. So we work very carefully with the bank to make all this work for them, just so you know how this whole process works.
Sounds complicated.
It's good to know.
Running. Thank you. Okay, do we need a? Okay. Are y'all finished? Is there any public comment?
I'll go ahead and read. For those online, you can press the raise hand button within the Zoom interface. For anyone on the phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. As of now, we have no one who's raised their hand.
Okay, thank you. Now we need the motion. Please.
I'll make a motion to, do we need the dollar amount? So I'll make a motion to adopt the budget at $11,872,812.
Second?
Catherine Hansen,
Yes.
Joyce Huey,
Yes.
Barbara Price, Davis Talmadge.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yes, Pat,
Okay, the next thing on your agenda is the low-income pool letters of agreement. I've talked with all three of these providers, and they do want the board to approve these. We noticed tonight that for the two hospitals, the agreements are made out to Northlake County. So when I send them in, I'll add the words hospital district to them. But we've talked to them. They do want the board to please approve this. And of course, what this does is I'll get an invoice eventually from the state. Part of the request that we've already approved for the hospitals will go to the state instead. This is not addition to their funding request, okay? So we just need a motion to approve these, or I think really just to give the chairman the authority to approve these agreements.
at the time.
Yes, because October, they could kick these back and do others, and we're not going to have another meeting until January. So if you can just do your motion, really, I think, to allow the chairman to approve.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to
I'll second.
allow the chairman to have the ability to sign whenever the LIP agreements.
I'll make a second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Is there any other business to come before this board regarding any of our actions today?
Just a reminder that the next meeting is September 24th, and that will be to vote on the final millage rate and the final budget, and ask that everybody please appear.
Is there any other new business?
And if y'all think about it, September 20th, that Sunday in the Lake Sentinel, should be our ad. I'm going to be out of town, so if you get the Sentinel, I need the whole sheet, the whole page. Yeah, so, and this year, we have to submit everything electronically, but they still want the full newspaper. Can't scan it, but only electronics will be accepted. So, y'all I want a line item in here for bail in case I don't get this right.
Is there no other business to come before this board? We are adjourned. And thank you, folks, for your participation.